Hey all, Sir Penguin here, and it has been a while, but as such, I've just kind of been looking at ways I want to continue the channel and get the YouTube posts going again. So we're going to cast some games, and I'm casting a bunch of games in a day, and we're just going to have some fun and enjoy watching some high-level play, some fun Age of Empires content, team games, solos, everything under the sun. And we're gonna start with one of my favorite sort of matchups, which is Beasty versus Kiljardi. So, starting on the top right side in blue is gonna be Kiljardi, and Kiljardi's playing the Malians, which you see Kiljardi play a really aggressive Malians. He loves Malian feudals. He loves that sofa timing. But against Beasty, he always switches it up just a little bit. So I'm really excited to see how Kiljardi is going to approach this matchup with this game, given that he's up against Beasty Cutie over here. And Beasty on the other side is going to be going into that early barracks. He's going to be in purple as the HRE. He actually housed himself right at the beginning of this game. Guys, it happens to everyone, even Beasty Cutie. But what we have here is going to be some spears to pressure the Malian pit mine, because Malians actually feel pretty good early on against HRE. So it looks like the purple Beasty spearman here from the HRE is going to be pressuring the pit mine houses. So starting out with a bang here in this 1v1. I think Kiljardi is going to have to think of a response here, but the other option is just dropping the toll house, the optional landmark, the less useful landmark, to shut down any aggression as soon as the food comes in. But let's see what Kiljardi decides to do against this spearman. Beasty's going straight for the pit mine. He's skipping the houses, which is interesting to say the least. There's more spears coming across the map. You can see them along the way. Oh, and a villager. We're gonna get a tower. Keep an eye on this villager here, as what's really interesting about this map, and is going to make it difficult for the Malians in general, is Cliffside has the shortest rush distance on the ranked ladder. So we're going to see villagers, we're going to see early spearmen, all sorts of stuff like that's going to be much more effective. But Beasty's skipping the tower for now, because as you can see, actually doesn't have the wood for a tower. And did I call it or what, chat? Did I call it or what, YouTube? We've got the Saharan Trade Network coming up, and that's going to be able to shut down this aggression and potentially even save the pit mine. Yeah, we've got repairs coming out for the pit mine. Not enough wood for a ton of repairs, though. And the spear's going to push that villager. Kiljardi in trouble already. This is a lot of pressure, and if this pit mine goes down, Kiljardi's going to be way behind. What's the range on this TC? They're just, wow. Look at them hanging out just on the edge here. So Beasty actually turning the tide here in that Kiljardi matchup and saying, I'm putting the pressure on. I'm going first. And so we got spearmen coming out. No more spearmen now, though, as we are starting to look for the age up with gold and the food. That tower is almost up, and the pit mine goes down to the 5 spears. Kiljardi has decided to opt out of units here and just continue to put up that Saharan Trade Network. And you know what? I think this will be nice. It'll shut this down, but that tower for Beasty is going up, and it's going to be out of range of the toll house. The trade network. It's not a toll house. The toll booth. The toll houses are the towers. This is the landmark, which is a very cool looking landmark, by the way. Underutilized, because honestly, like, you usually want the Matsukori instead, but on a short rush distance map like this and against the early aggression of Beasty Cutie, I like this. This should be a good way to hold on to the base here. I'm a little worried about that pit mine for Kiljardi, though. Gonna be low on gold. That being said, Molly can make up the gold difference pretty quickly, but this will delay any cow boom shenanigans and things like that. House gonna go down to the tower, and we only have 5 houses on the initial pit mine. Second one will go down to that tower too, but Yeah, Kiljardi going almost entirely to the wood. Let's switch to the build numbers here so we can get a better idea what the build orders are looking like. Beasty going up with the Aachen Chapel. Big on gold, so it's going to be a fast castle probably. Meanwhile, Kiljardi going all in onto this wood. Get that archery range out. Probably some jab throwers, maybe an archer or two. Because Kiljardi now needs to stop Beasty from doing this, which is getting all that gold. Actually, Beasty gonna have no trouble getting the Castle Age gold here, but actually, no. It's gonna be a second TC. Unless that's for a tower. Is that for a tower? Arrow slits on the forward tower? Yeah, that might be arrow slits on the forward tower, actually. Yeah, because he's not gonna drop that mine. Well, maybe unless he gets wood. No, it's arrow slits. Oh, wait. Color me confused here. There he goes. Going on to the gold. No, 5 more villagers. There he goes. I was so confused by this this stone collection, but it looks like we might get another tower or something like that out of Beasty here because of the extra stone income. Arrow slits coming in now. Oh no, he's gonna want to get fortify outpost. That's why he left the 3 on the stone over there. They're gonna drop off and go to the gold. But those Molly archers now from Kiljardi gonna put pressure on the gold, and you could just camp these archers out on the resources. You see Kiljardi scouting out the stone here. He'll click on that, he'll see that it's enough for those tower upgrades, but not for a TC. Of course, you'd see the mine on there if it was for a TC, but you know. What do we have here? We have the HRE archery range coming out from Beasty, and this has already cracked up to be an interesting game. Watching HRE go into archery range, like, it's more common now than it's ever been, but I think it is still gonna be a bit of a surprise for some of us to see an HRE player come out with the archery ranges. But they're gonna be faster than the Molly archers, and on a single archery range, yeah, Kiljardi's gonna have no choice but to go javelin thrower. Triple archery range coming out for Beasty. We like to see it. Barracks out, that the initial barracks pumping out some more spearmen, and that's just gonna be for a front line. But we haven't scouted any horsemen. Is this for the pit mine? Did he scout this? Let's check really quick. I forgot the button. But here we go. It's been a while since I've done some casting. I don't think Beasty knows about this, technically. Like, he'll know that something like that's coming, but I don't think he technically has the information. Arrows and the fortified outpost for HRE. That's going to be hard to break. These HRE outposts are tough, but because it's out of range of any TCs or anything like that, you're not going to have the emergency repairs. There's no influence from the town centers. Meanwhile, Kiljardi's going for a second archery range, and it's going to be a little scouting, but that scout's going to go down. That's 1 sheep lost for Kiljardi. We just got a couple little armies here set up for some action. I like this. Setting up the toll outpost on the gold in the middle. So Kiljardi gonna gather a little extra gold because you're not gonna want to send villagers all the way to this pit mine. This is just for that passive gold. This gold is gonna be for a faster gathering. And now we have neither of these players going into castle. It is a feudal battle because Beasty sees the production coming out for Kiljardi and reacts. And this is a great play. Going into the archers, going into spearmen. How often do you see this comp for HRE? At the lower levels, certainly not. But actually, I've run this against like England, maybe without the spears, and I think it's really fun. I think the HRE archers are just a fun unit because of that marching drills. I really sort of dislike the HRE, but ever since I've been playing randoms, the archer unit is just, it's fun. They're little track stars. They're little track stars. We've got some harassment coming out, but the villager count really not too affected by any of this Especially with the Aachen. Keep in mind the boosts coming out under with these farms. Not enough javelin throwers here. The triple archery range coming in clutch with the spears tanking a lot of that. And yeah, Kiljardi doing a good job of making sure his jabs are focusing the archers. But there are too many archers here. And they have no upgrades. And there's no defensive upgrades for Kiljardi's javelins. So these javelins are not at their most effective. They're taking 2 damage a pop instead of the 1 that the blacksmith would give you. And part of that is Kiljardi is low on gold. We don't even have a blacksmith up. He had to focus on units early on. But usually I think with the Malians, you want to see a pretty quick blacksmith come up for this reason, for the archer javelin showdown that you'll inevitably see in feudal. We do have arrow damage out for Kiljardi, so I actually missed the blacksmith somewhere. Way in the back, there it is. And there's the arrow resistance that we wanted to see for these javelin throwers. It'll make them way more effective in the long run here. This squad can one-shot archers, and you have to be careful not to overkill any archers, but you really need that arrow resistance. There goes the Vils on the gold. That tower going to be a problem for Beasty here. We'll see how he chooses to handle this. And we got that back and forth tempo game. We don't see this a whole awful lot, I think, in the current meta. You see some all-ins and stuff, but this tempo game is definitely a result of the HRE Mali matchup here. Kind of a funky matchup. Going back to the gold now with the Vils, and that HRE army is going to be cleared. Nothing crazy going on with the macro. Kiljardi banking quite a bit of wood, perhaps a little too much. But we want to see, like, more structures coming out on the front. And I think it should be no surprise that Kiljardi has decided to turn this into an all-in. We've got siege engineering coming through. Tons of units getting produced. 3 archers. Well, 2 javelins, but 1 javelin now. We got 15 javelins out, and with just spears and some archers, I don't know how this will work for Beasty. I like the men-at-arms inclusion, though. If Kiljardi's not super careful with his javelin micro, these men-at-arms are going to get a lot of value, even though they're only feudal. Upgrades coming in for both players now. These upgrades are going to be key for deciding who's in charge here. Meanwhile, in the back, Beasty going for a spear raid. I think that tower should take care of it. And yeah, marching drills. You really see the value of marching drills in HRE's feudal in this matchup, because the javelin throwers are not a very fast unit. In fact, let's take a look at their speed. Only 1.2 movement tiles of speed. That's going to be slower than anything that the HRE fields with the charge. These men-at-arms are coming now. And that's a pretty valuable loss, pretty valuable win for Beasty and loss for Kiljardi. These are expensive units, the javelin throwers. Let's go take a look. Just to show you why that's important here. The javelin thrower is as much as a crossbow. And we're talking about a crossbow in feudal age. So we're losing a really valuable unit here for Mali. And the men-at-arms are about the same price, but it's only 3 who've done a lot of damage alongside the spears, who are very cheap. This archer mass gonna clear that, though. And looking at the military count and the Vil count, other than the passive gold income for Kiljardi, this is a close game. We have not seen a cow boom. Only now is our cow boom coming out, and that's because Kiljardi didn't have the gold to spare. He really did not have the gold to spare. And look at these raids on the back. These spears are causing problems. There's some archers as well. Kiljardi doing a good job of not overcommitting to his defense on the back here, while meanwhile working on a raid. And I like to just put this into perspective. This is some top level play here. Watching over these units on the back and these food vills to try to secure enough food to outproduce the Beasty That's a lot of work. This guy is putting in the work. Kiljardi always putting in the work with the micro. And he was trying to micro his attack while also microing this defense. The problem is Beasty has too many units, and Beasty feels safe enough now to go for Castle. And Castle Age is going to be dropped now. We're going to see, it's almost certainly going to be the Regnitz into some relics. Yeah, Regnitz Cathedral coming up. Relics along the way. These archers who were raiding get caught out by the javelins, but they might be able to pick off a Vil. Yeah, they pick off one extra Vil here, and Beasty now actually has the Vil lead as well. And like I mentioned earlier, the Vil lead with the Aachen is going to be a problem for Kiljardi here. Sounds like I'm saying Crackety here, Kiljardi here. No. Anyway, Kiljardi is gonna hold back those archers, stop the raids, but Beasty gets some good idle time on these gold Vils. There's a lot of damage too on these Vils. A couple archer shots kills this villager. Yeah, Kiljardi's gonna have to counter push, and that's what it looks like he wants to do here. He knows the Castle Age has got to be coming up. And look at this mass that Beasty has. In addition, I think Kiljardi's in a bad spot here. There's a lot of javelin throwers, though, for Kiljardi. If he can manage to get some damage in, he'll keep himself in this game. But he's on a timer now to come back, because Beasty just is going to get those upgrades. He's going to grab the relics. You already see the prelates going out for relics. And we have another attempted push from Kiljardi, but Beasty going full turtle mode with triple towers on the gold to hold back that Kiljardi aggression. And you know it's coming, right? You're up against a guy who is well known for his aggression, who's been playing an absolutely insane game of Age of Empires, mind you. Like, Kiljardi has been on another level lately in terms of his ability. But Beasty is Beasty, and so we're gonna see how Kiljardi manages this. You see them play a lot of games together because they're sort of on the same schedule, so they end up against each other a lot on the ladder. They practice a lot together. Oh my gosh, and the full surround from the men-at-arms is gonna clean up a big chunk of those javelin throwers, and Kiljardi has to put some pressure on from another angle. I think the thing... Oh, Knights 2 in the middle, hitting those gold Vils. I think, yeah, no, this is not looking good for Kiljardi. Kiljardi's got to do something. Did we even see that ram? That ram must have gone down. We have a raid on the food on the outside, but this is an Aachen with farms. It's hard to shut down HRE's food production at this point in the game. And Kiljardi's still in feudal. Grand Fulani Corral is coming out though, and those passive resources do make a big difference for the Malians here. And I just gotta say, there is aggression everywhere. We got rams on towers, we got knights and horsemen, men-at-arms, and oh my gosh, Kiljardi, he has to do something here. This Castle Age has to be big. But looking at the unit count, does get some Vils with this raid. Let's look at that Vil count actually, as it evens out a little bit. But the scary thing for Kiljardi now is the military count. Vil count, sure, you've sort of evened it out, and you have passive resources coming out in the form of the Fulani Corral. Safe under the TC. This is the new version, the updated Fulani Corral. You build it right next to it and get your cows wrapped around your TCs so they're more in range of your defenses. New and improved, you might say. It's been going on for maybe a couple months now. And the Fulani Corral gives you quite the bonus. I'll just show you guys for... Yeah, for it makes cattle provide 20 food per minute instead of, let's see, what is there? Plus 20. So they're getting 40, I think, per minute. And plus the corral. So, okay, there you go. 3 cows out of 1 cattle ranch gives you 75 a minute. And that's with the Fulani Corral buff bonus. So that's a lot of passive resources now. I think it goes up to about 800 food per minute with the cows. So I think that's how Kiljardi could come back into this game, but the unit count is really scary when there's pressure on all sides from the Beast. And here comes the men-at-arms. We're looking at the best HRE player in the world here, playing up against Kiljardi, who's probably one of the best Malian players in the world. They're gonna clear the vills on the gold here with those men-at-arms. And let's just take a look now at the bases. No new production out for Kiljardi. Oh, here it is on the back. It's gonna have to be more Donsos because we don't have enough gold for the counter to men-at-arms and the heavy units, the Musafati warrior. Finally clearing the tower on that close pit mine, and he didn't really have a choice. This tower is so tanky. 1,000 extra health with that stone upgrade is gonna make it a tough sell for infantry early on. We got Castle Age upgrades coming through. We got veteran Donsos, veteran javelin throwers. BC with the veteran horsemen, veteran men-at-arms with the maces. I think he might be expecting Sofa with the maces here. And frankly, just the extra damage is nice for the +6 versus heavy. But there are no heavy units here for Kiljardi. That's probably why Kiljardi has opted for the unit comp he has. Two-handed axe, though, coming out now. The two-handed weapons, rather. And that's just a straight damage buff. So we have 16 damage coming out for these men-at-arms, these HRE men-at-arms. And they're going to start burning the corrals on the other side as well. Donso's coming to shut that down, but they're not going to be able to put out enough damage. And this, yeah, this is looking really bad for Kiljardi. This is that HRE timing. HRE slowing down. Beasty slowing down the HRE timing to put the pressure on Mali that shuts down their mid-game, their castle game. Gonna clean up the men-at-arms on the north side, but the men-at-arms in Kiljardi's base are still causing a lot of trouble. We do have the Musafati warriors coming out now, and those ladies are gonna kick some butt against men-at-arms, but they do not have the veteran upgrades yet, and there are some archers left for Beasty to try to shut that down. The horsemen are also going to be very effective, especially, again, we're seeing these Musafati warriors fight without their upgrade. And I like the transition into them, but without the upgrade, we just see them go down to those really heavily armored men-at-arms. And Beasty just running rampant. Goes Imperial on the back of this with the Swabia, that cheap Imperial Age upgrade. Now, they're looking at the Vil count, looking at the unit count. I don't think there's any way that Kiljardi comes back. We've got a buff, Devoutness, so the Prelates are going to inspire villagers even faster. Or, like, stronger, I guess. Musafati warriors clearing out some men-at-arms on the back. Men-at-arms, though, doing the classic HRE thing and putting on that pressure. And just, I mean, I don't think there's anything Kiljardi can do here. I think this game is long over. Especially looking at the upgrades, looking at the resources. We have Tithe Barns coming in. I think Beasty got a ton of relics as well. We can see in the bottom left, actually got all 5 relics. So that just feels bad. HRE gets all 5 relics on the map. That does not feel good for this tier of play. Little raid on the back, looking at that Swabia. Swabia gonna put arrow pressure on, and just not a lot of arrow resistance on Donzos at all. They're just a spear unit, and they're gonna go down. Tries to get some more Vil kills here, but the Vil count getting out of hand, and we actually have a lot of idle time. A little idle time for Beasty here, but this is gonna get cleaned up. Nice little push by Musafati warriors as well, but again, this horseman, the veteran horseman transition for Beasty, it's a very good call for dealing with any of these Musafati warriors. Again, these ladies can pack a punch. But we still don't have veteran upgrades, and yeah, Kiljardi calls it. He says, I can't do anything about this. He saw the base, got a feel for what was going on, and said, never mind, game over, GG. And Beasty is going to take this one between him and Kiljardi. Thanks all for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. It's free, and it's just a button click. So I'd appreciate it if you drop a like, drop a subscribe. And for those of you currently watching on Twitch, I do appreciate a follow. Subscribes are nice, but you know, I don't want to put any pressure on. But we're trying to get some content back out there, so keep your eyes peeled for more. And we are back. Welcome back. Thank you all for being here.